He's not a national hero. Anyway, Moses says there's no relation. So, but yes. Moses, let's quickly talk about some corporate actions that happened last week. So, first of all, we saw that Connor marked down. Its prices were marked down by 2 naira following the dividend payment. Ex-dividend price was 13 naira. So, what was the dividend payment for Connor, if you remember? Okay, we'll get that out. CCNN, also known as Sokoto Cement, was marked down by 1 naira 25 kobo last week following dividend payment. His former price was 26 naira 25 kobo. Better Glass was marked down by 1 naira 7 kobo. But concerning this week, going into this week, we have a few corporate actions. Capital Hotels. Well, if you don't know what Capital Hotels was, it is now it's the company that is known as Hotels Sheraton Abuja. It's going to be holding its AGM on June 27th. AGMs are usually opportunities for companies to inform shareholders of the outlook for the current year. Also, if you've ever been to any one of those AGMs, you realize that we have like 27 or maybe 54 shareholders associations of Nigeria. There's either the Elevated Shareholders Association Nigeria or the something shareholders of Nigeria. But generally, this is the place where you actually make your voice get heard. You might not be able to be heard in the boardroom, but at least you get heard here. MPF Microfinance Bank will be holding its AGM on June 28th. The dividend, if approved, will be paid that same day. The company has recommended a dividend of 17 kobo. Mutual Benefits PLC will be holding its AGM June 27th. Dividend will commence on June 28th. The proposed dividend is 2 kobo. MRS, the company will be giving out 1 for 5 bonus to shareholders on its register. That is at June 28th. There could be a slight rally in its price as investors take position to benefit from the bonus share. I'll get the exact date where it closes. Oh wait, June 28th is already here now, Avi? Yeah. But if the I don't know when exactly the what you call it closes, the register closes. But if you can still take advantage of that wouldn't be a bad idea. BOC Gases Nigeria PLC will be holding its general AGM on June 28th. Dangote Flour will be, I think that's already held its general meeting, June 22nd. Dividend payment of 20 kobo per share. Okomo Oil paying a dividend of 3 naira per share. It's financial year June 25th. Stock could witness a slight sell-off once investors receive their dividends. So basically, we're preparing for earnings season. Anything you think we should look out for?
Basically, especially the banks, we are really interested in seeing the result of these banks, especially compared to 2017, where the yields were very high. So this time around, the yields are quite low compared to 2016. So we want to see how this bank will survive in an environment where yields are going lower, and want to see if they can still match up with that 2017 performance. And again, we want to see the consumer goods, if they can still sustain that performance of 2017.
But you know, the consumer goods, one of the things that helped them in 2017 was the fact that we had the FX crisis, and a lot of them people were looking inward, so it kind of benefited a lot of those companies. But you know, once Nigerians being who they are, as the door just opened, everybody just went back to normal places. So let's see if they can sustain those.
Yes, and again, you know, they increased price again in 2017, many of them. So this time around, you are not increasing price. So let's see how you are able to do this time in 2018.
True.
We would like to see all those results coming. If they can do better than 2017 or match that 2017, of course, market will be surprised for that, and we might see something from that as well.
All right. Great. City of Lagos. Yes, so well, I'd like to thank Moses Ahmed for being with us in the studio, basically going through some of the headlines and some of this corporate news with us. Thank you very much, Moses, for being with us.
Thank you.
So now we're going into the printing business in Nigeria, and we're going to be talking to Mr. Oluyomi Ojo. He's the CEO at Printivo. I must say that I've never. Okay, we've met a couple of times, but my first interaction with his company was I was trying to get a complimentary card, and I just went saw this advert online, and I just like, okay, they said they'll bring it. I was going through clicking. They now said pay. I said, before I see the card, and I don't know you before. But I'd seen his presence and his company's presence on social media, so I paid, and they brought it. I was pretty impressed. So we have with us in the studio Oluyomi Ojo. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
So CEO Printivo. How does that feel, though? I mean, it doesn't happen regularly that you get to transform the face of doing business in any country, and it basically is you are one of the pace setters. I mean, I've seen a few companies coming after you.
Yep.
But you are the pace setter in terms of changing the way people perceive printing in Nigeria, from the point where we call one guy, we'll call him Oga Printer, and he will now come to the office. And I was like, I want to make card for this person, that person. He will now say, okay, I come. Then he will now go and do costing. Then he will now come and say, Oga, 500,000. And I'll be like, no. They start haggling. No, I'll pay 300. They say, Oga, see, the people I will use for you is very serious card. So we don't see any of that happening anymore. Prices are standardized. To a large extent, we can expect what we give in.
Yeah.
To a large extent, you can design it yourself. How does it feel to be able to be that person who did that space?
It actually feels good, but the truth is that for every success you've achieved, it opens you up to the fact that more responsibility to push harder, right? They say the reward for hard work is more work.
More work, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that really drove us to this point was we were ready to be wrong. You know, when we were starting Printivo, the first thing that came to our mind was, can we be sure of success? How will people accept these? People are used to going into brick and mortar shops, calling the printer guy, going back and forth. At least they see physical stuff.
Yeah.
They can touch, they can feel. How can we digitize the entire process? But again, we asked ourselves, people don't know what they want until they actually see it. If it's simpler, if it's faster, if it's cheaper, and if they get it on time, definitely anyone will opt for ease of doing business. So we were ready to be wrong and then to learn through that process. So when we went live, a couple of people trusted us and placed the first set of orders, and they were telling other people. And for the first 1 year, it was just a case of changing people's perception from
about the way printing
exactly
happens.
About the way printing happens. And on top of that is a lot of trust being built. We've come to understand that we are in an industry where trust plays a very key role. Yeah. So if you can trust us with your money by transacting online, then you'll be able to continue transacting, and you'll tell more people about us. So yeah. One
of the things I heard from what you just said now is that you were prepared to be wrong, and which of course is one of the things that definitely does. It's an advantage for a startup.
Yeah.
You know, the flexibility. Yeah. You know, the floor to fall is very short, so you are without fear. You go out there, and then you're a lot bigger, and you're thinking to yourself, what did we do that time? If it did not work, it would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
But as you grow, you start getting less risk averse, which of course starts to cut the power of innovation, and then you get less flexible. The things you would have done without fear, without thought, you start being cautious now. Say, we now have a name to protect, things like that. How do you work around that? Because I mean, this is you've done the first innovation curve. We're expecting another.
Yeah.
Even though we're still saying thank you for this one, but more.
So the first thing that we have a culture where people don't get nailed for their mistakes, and it's a company-wide thinking where it allows us to try new things every day. Right? People are actually rewarded for attempting new ways of things. However, I won't disagree with you with the fact that
we are not like, I mean, it's not like it used to be where we were ready to be very, very wrong. Remember, to whom much is given, now,
Much is expected.
much is expected. So there's that part where you now have to put a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy, a lot of meetings into going live with anything now, because much is expected of you. But however, we've been able to do a lot of new things. For example, I don't know if you've heard about Printivo for business, which we are currently working on. And then we've launched a product recently called Printivo for designers, what we call Printivo Marketplace. And what that has done is that it has moved us from being a printing company to becoming a print platform.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like a mall for web.
It's a marketplace for designers. So for example, if you're a graphic designer now and you want to sell print products, the ideal thing that you will have done before marketplace is you will look for a printer that will be printing those things for you. Okay. Now you go on Printivo and create your own store, and then you upload your own designs. And every time somebody uses your design, you earn 15% royalty on that design. So for example, people are selling business cards on Printivo, they are selling mugs, they are selling t-shirts. People with movements like feminist movements are building shops and selling t-shirts, mugs, and the rest. You know, various innovations going on that side of the business.
I think it generally, I like the innovation curve that you're taking. It's great. Now, I don't know, because I'm trying to understand what you did with this business. Because we see the front end. The front end has been changed.
Yeah.
The back end, because I am fortunate enough to have been to a few of those printing presses in around Mushi area. I think that was the central hub of
Mushi, Shomolu, and
yes.
Lagos, yeah.
I'm lucky to have been to them. Where every street you go to, there's at least 4 or 5 printing places. Yeah, and all of them are doing this. Yeah, if you've ever been there, you will know that sound properly.
Yeah.
But the challenges I noticed when I went there was professionalism was a key problem in most of those presses. To be able to get them on point to do what you say they should do is always a challenge. Because you go there, you have to start arguing back and forth. We said Tuesday. You say, "Oh God, don't worry, come back next Tuesday." Those kind of things. And how have you been able to fix the back end? Because I can say I just got a new set of cards from you guys, and turnaround time was quite quick. Yes, you didn't know. You see, were the customers that. The customers that are low key. Like I said, the turnaround time was quite quick, which of course surprised me. And honestly, I won't lie to you, it was after I got the cards that I reached out to you again. I was like, please, can you come to my show? Yeah. And then you say you were traveling somewhere. I was like, see this man. But the idea is that, how did you get the turnaround time to be so short?
4 years in the business, we've been able to learn and unlearn so many things. We've realized that to a large extent we need to actually own part of our own operations, especially in the Nigerian market. That enables us to do a lot of things quickly and create our own processes around these things. Instead of just copying and pasting the processes that actually don't work. So currently, Printivo actually has its own fulfillment side of the business, where when you place your order, we just fire our own assets and get the product shipped to you within days.
Interesting, because I always felt that would be the most difficult part of that entire business to run.
I mean, printing business is completely made of moving parts.
Yeah.
And then when you now add the internet to it, which is e-commerce itself again, is another it's another beast.
On its own.
Yeah, so it's another beast.
You find a lot of challenges in that area.
Yeah.
Anyway, so of course we know power is an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't overemphasize now. God needs to deliver us from the power challenge in this country. But what are the other challenges that you face?
No, what you just said about power now reminds me of what someone said this morning about power on Twitter, where the VP was talking about innovation in Nigeria, and somebody just replied the VP and said, "Just give us power." And I mean, the reality is that power is a huge problem, but we are not just the only one in that shoe. Several other businesses in that shoe. But on top of that, there's also the problem of talents, and we are in an industry that is where the production end is predominantly controlled by artisans, right? People whose work ethic you actually have to work on. You are coming from a side where you must deliver what you promise, right?
Yeah,
and you literally have to hire people who are not actually used to doing things that way. So what we've done over the last 4 years, we've hired people from different printing companies and actually have to make them unlearn everything they've learned and then teach them
Nigeria.
Nigeria
is a place where you must unlearn everything.
No, you must cancel everything and rewrite from scratch. But so far so good. We've been able to build a company where the people problem is no longer a problem, and we now deliver what we promise. And every Printivo customer knows today that if you order anything on Printivo, first and foremost you get what you are promised. If there's any issue with your order, you are reassured of a reprint, irrespective of the value of that order. And if eventually we are unable to solve the problem, you will get your refund. And that, to a large extent, as we've been able to build trust. For us, we are not in it's not an e-commerce business or a printing business. It's a trust business. We're actually trading in trust.
True.
We are like any other e-commerce business that will do pay on delivery. From day one, from the day we throw our doors open at Printivo, we said no pay on delivery. So every order we ship is prepaid.
All right, I want to go into something that I'm not sure you are prepared to do, of course, because this is primetime radio, and you know that everybody is now listening to you. The time I heard you actually give this story, you were speaking to university students, and I'm not sure you were thinking that cameras were watching, so that one you might have hidden that part. But I want to ask about how the business started for you. Because I do know that you were trading to some extent in some sort of cards at your university days.
So you're taking me back in time.
So I want to know where this started from, because it's always great for people to know what started this Printivo journey.
Yeah.
So do tell us about that before.
So I have to come from a family where most of us are very artistically talented. We draw, we sketch, we create stuff. And I left secondary school, and I just wanted to do stuff. And I was making handmade cards. And if you know those days, 2001, 2000, GSM phones were not mainstream.
Sure.
People really didn't have access to the internet. So one of the best way to communicate how you care to the people around you
was
via cards. And the handmade cards were actually the inks.
Yeah,
they were the int thing. So
it made it look like you actually put some effort into
exactly.
it. You
didn't just go and buy one printed card and wrote the person's name on it.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know what he's talking about, this was just a couple of years ago. Maybe not a couple, but
18 years. It's not a couple of years. I mean, people born those days. They are going to vote
next year. Because I know that a lot of people who listen might not be able to understand that you went to buy handmade cards and
So I was doing those stuff, and we had this neighbor who was schooling in Lasso, and it was like, you can sell this thing.
The greatest school in the world, by the way.
I remember that. So it was like, you can sell this thing to students, and you make a lot of money. And I took 300 naira from my mom, added it to what I was doing, bought cards, did those stuff, packaged them neatly, and went with him to sell to his schoolmates. And that day I came back with 1,000 naira, which means I grossed out 700 naira.
Yeah. And that was the day Printivo was born.
Well, technically.
in
and this was far back 2001. And for me, it was like, geez, I can actually make this. And I did that. I got into the university, did that for like 2 semesters. and then GSM went mainstream by 2003, 2004, and people will look at your cards and they'll copy the message on your card and send it to their loved one as SMS, and that literally crashed that business. And I, as a student, I learned graphic design, started making t-shirts, became the print guy on campus, and left school, started a design agency called Urban Base, ran that for a couple of years, and the business is still active now, and got stuck with printers because we were creating ideas for companies. We need print services for our campaigns and all that, and every time we want to work with print companies, it's always an issue. The Baba would disappoint you. You literally have to go to the print shop to actually go and fight, and I mean physical fight, to get your stuff out. And one day I woke up, I said, you know what, I'm going to be the printing company, and that was what gave birth to what became Printivo today. And it's I just know the journey of
just summarize it into a minute or so. So because City of Lagos, I needed to, because sometimes the innovative end looks so very bright and you don't realize where it came from, and that does so. And this, of course, is where I was going to. What is next? Because you innovated from drawing on cards to printing T-shirts to printing company, and then you went into design. Now Printivo. The future for Printivo. Okay, you already talked about the mall. The marketplace. Because we're always looking for what the innovative curve with printing is. What's the future? Is it that you're going to start printing mines, or what is next? What is next in the future?
So if you look at global trends around the printing industry, you'll notice that the print media, there has been a huge decline.
Yeah.
And I mean the newspapers, the magazines, and the rest. And that's basically because it's actually not about what is being printed, but about what is being printed on those things, which is the content. Yeah. So the moment the content moved to the task fair, that caused the decline. But what that has also done, again, is it has actually empowered the ability to scale commercial printing. Because now print companies can reach more customers via the internet. Yeah. And for us, we've built another layer of customization where it's no longer printing for businesses, but print for everyone, which means you can go online and create print products for yourself. And not just create for yourself, you can also sell.
You know the funny thing about it, I actually did, in this middle of this discussion, I thought about printing a T-shirt and a mug for someone.
In those days, you would have to call someone to do those things for you. So the middleman part has been taken away, right? And the power has been moved from the middleman to the customer themselves. Yeah, fantastic. And then we've also now used that to also empower the customer to be able to sell print products. So the future of print is actually customization. People being able to order prints on demand. As again, someone telling you the minimum you can print is
500, 1,000. Yeah,
like you can do it on demand, fast, easy, delivered to your doorstep. And if you look at, global trends, that's the segment of prints that has been growing over the last couple of years, and more projections have been done concerning that segment also.
All right. Thank you very much, Oluyomi, for being with us on the studio. CEO, Printivo. Basically, we've tried to run through the history of Printivo in this less than 30 minutes. It's been a fantastic time. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Finally. Also, want to thank Moses Ahmed for being with us on the show, Investment One analyst over there. Thank you very much for being with us on the show. So, City of Lagos, still a very young morning. If you look at your timepiece, you'll find out that it is. I'm trying to stall because I'm seeing the seconds count down to 9. It is 1 minute after 10. Still a very young morning, City of Lagos. Do go out and be profitable.
So business and economy news can be confusing. Markets going up, indices going down, prices going round and round. But what does it mean for your income? Your income. Join me, Tunji Andrews, on the Money, Business and Economy Show. Because with every government policy or business decision, someone is making money. I honestly believe that person can be you.
Money business.